Time now for a look at business with Mike Eppel from CityNews 680. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you. What a weather weekend that was. That had a lot of people outside doing a lot of things business-wise. What impact do you think it had?
I think it had a lot of people going to open houses. If they're in the housing market, Sid, this is completely anecdotal, but just in our neighborhood, there were a couple of open houses, and of course, I hadn't seen too many of those. But the weather was beautiful. There were lineups around the block for some of the properties up for sale, and that was I actually went into one just to kind of discuss what was going on in the real estate market with one of the local agents, and they're saying they're seeing multiple bidding wars. And I don't know if they're necessarily pricing properties a little low to drum up interest or what have you, but I think the springtime revival is real in the real estate market, that people are looking to get in now, starting to at least. The pent-up demand and not a lot on the market, so that might be the next thing to kind of build up here if some current owners put their properties up for sale. And I think a lot of over-asking headlines will be on some of those sold signs coming up. Best time of the year, Sid. You got the NHL playoffs, baseball. We had the Masters last week, the weekend. The weather's nice. Maybe cooling off a little bit today. But yeah, everybody's getting outside and doing stuff and keeping busy.
I've had a few open houses in my day, Mike. I know it's a necessary evil, but I hate them because 85% of people that roll through are neighbors that want to be all up in your business.
Yep.
It drives
just kind of
me nuts.
Snoop around a little bit, see what's going on.
And the neighbors you don't like. Like, which neighbors are showing up. It's not the friendly ones with a casserole or something like that. It's the one anyway, I've said too much. All right, let's move on here. RBC did a little research in terms of what Canadians are spending money on. What do they find, Mike?
Yeah, they do this anecdotal report on where they're seeing credit card transactions, what people are maybe spending more on and or less, and their spend tracker survey indicates that because of inflation, people are not spending as much on discretionary items, going and spending big at the shopping malls for new clothing. Although, springtime again, people are going to be updating their wardrobes perhaps. Restaurants have been getting pricier, and then you throw on, the extended tipping and such, and that's, getting a little bit more expensive too. One category that has not seen any slowdown, in fact, it's seen an acceleration, is travel. And I think, we saw this, Sid, record numbers over Christmas, and to start the new year, all the talk about some big airline ticket sales being sold well in advance of the summertime already. And you already look online, and some very popular destinations are showing some very high prices for hotel nightly room rates. Something to keep an eye on, specifically if you're heading to places like Las Vegas or Nashville's very popular this year as well, and other destinations more further afield. The talk is that people are spending big on international trips into Europe, for example, this summer. I don't know if that's got something to do with the coronation or something of that nature, but maybe over the summertime, people want to get out and see the world.
For sure. We got less than a minute, but Mike, I do want to ask you, I believe you have to be a complete idiot to not know that the CBC is government funded. I thought this was common knowledge. I thought this was kind of out there. This wasn't some secret issue. But Twitter, in response to a lot of federal conservative leaders, have now slapped government-funded media on the CBC tag on social media. What will the repercussions of that be, do you think?
Well, I wonder if they follow the lead of National Public Radio in the U.S., NPR or PBS, and just say, okay, we're not going to tweet. Kind of the pushback against this is driven by Elon Musk, and yes, there have been the political ties to this, but at the end of the day, it's Musk who's running the Twitter platform and putting a government-funded media tag on the CBC. Yeah, it's government-funded, but it raises this imaginary bogeyman of the CBC being some sort of propagandist arm. The accusation is it's in the books for the Trudeau government. But at the same time, you've got the Broadcast Act, Sid, that definitively states that it is editorial independence by law from the government, despite the fact that, the CBC does get a lot of its money from federal coffers. And it's just this talking point, I suppose, more or less. But the media does get a lot of money from government. I think we know that as well, just in support. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the CBC News wasn't given the tag though. Their Twitter account,
Amazing.
just the main one. So that kind of makes no sense.
Man,
either.
there's a lot of stupid people out there, Mike. I'm sorry. There's a lot of stupid people. Like if you're a conservative leader and you think this is an election issue that moves the needle in the greater Toronto area, an area you need to become the next prime minister of this country, it's time for a meeting. It's time for a meeting. You really have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway,
I think you could say that a lot of the discussion on Twitter is somewhat questionable.
Yes. I might just go on Instagram after today. I'm getting a little tired of it. I got to be honest with you. I might just go to Instagram and just post pictures of my cat. Mike Eppel, City News 680. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.